Ooh. It is 2026.
That took a moment for you to say.
I can't believe how it is 2026.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. And we apologize profusely for the week of downtime we took. But let me tell you, getting the chitlins out of the house and getting back to an empty nesting situation, which literally just started today.
Like at 7 a.m.
It was not easy to do. But this is the very first Plate and Ponder Empty Nesting with Jen and Chris Fenton of the year 2026. And we are pumped up because let me tell you something. Since the last time we have spoken to everybody, we have popped from 28 nations around the world that have been listening to us to 33. And let me tell you,
33. I like the way you said that.
33 is a very, very lucky number.
But what if we get 34 tonight?
Well, then we'll just have to make more luck as 34, 35, 36, and 37 come along.
Awesome.
You know, there's 77 countries around the world that have federal film commissions and national film subsidies in order to draw production of film and television content to their shores.
Huh, didn't know that.
How big our federal film commission and subsidy program is here?
I don't, but I'm going to guess you're going to tell me.
0. We have no
yikes.
federal film commission or
Why?
subsidies to bring back manufacturing back here to the United States of America.
0. Nothing.
0.
Nothing.
0.
I don't. Can you explain this to me?
It is sad trombone all the way through. Wow, it was a little late on that sound effect.
Sad trombone.
But we have lost 65% of Hollywood's production to overseas markets because of the 77 nations that do have one. And I have been talking in Washington, D.C. about this. And
is that a humble brag? Is that your first humble brag of the year?
Because I believe I brought it up on the podcast initially after I got back.
Yeah, but this is 2026.
Yeah, and guess what I did this week? I talked about it in Germany, a German audience.
Well, you were not in Germany.
I was not. I did a virtual keynote and discussion with the U.S. military.
Again, that sort of feels like a humble brag.
I love our service members. Shout out to 4-star General Anderson for inviting me again because I did get to speak at the Pentagon last summer.
Okay, so is this your third humble brag of the
it
show?
Is
and we
third,
haven't
fourth, and fifth.
Wow,
I'm sorry.
okay.
No, but I love the fact that people do dedicate their careers to protecting the people of the United States of America, securing our border, securing the world, becoming a democracy, trying to push us towards democracy around the world rather than communism.
I mean, at one point, Dylan actually was considering Air Force for college.
I thought you were saying he was considering communism, and I would not have liked that at all.
No, at one point he was looking at and talking to the coach at Air Force. So it definitely was in consideration. And so I think the saying like father, like son could be applicable here. He did not go that route. He has deflected to Canada.
He has. And as a dad who is Army ROTC, I think about the fact that my son has deserted for Canada for McGill University. No, it's not a desertion. It's actually our 51st state. So he's just a part of the U.S.
He's part of the Union. Yay!
Fire up. All right. So as you can see, we're already kicking into high gear when it comes to fun and lighthearted conversations and banter and comedy and dad jokes. Oh, speaking of which.
Oh, no. Are you going to do a dad joke?
No, I'm not going to do a dad joke, but a shout out to Kaylee Fenton, who actually spent 4 days in Big Sky, Montana with me and 2 other dads. And she held her own, not only on the chairlift, making great conversation and doing all kinds of fun stuff, but also at these incredible dinners that we were having and all the delicate conversations we had about geopolitics to sports to college college football, by the way.
She
Woo,
said you
shout
guys.
out.
She said you guys just talked about private banking and real estate and stuff like that.
We did do a lot of private equity talk, a lot of hedge fund talk, a lot of banker talk, because I love that stuff because I'm not technically in that world, but I circulate adjacently.
Can I read you a text from one of the dads that you went skiing with?
Yeah. When did this text come in?
I got it yesterday. I showed Kaylee it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it says, don't tell CF, but Kaylee is probably a better skier than him now. As a dad, you're proud.
I'm sorry. Something's wrong with our
Stop.
equipment here. I don't know.
Let me brag about your
Okay,
daughter,
go
okay?
ahead.
So as a dad, you are proud and humble, but when this happens, wow, she skis beautifully.
She really does. She clangs her boots.
Not in a bad way, but like her skis look like one.
Yes, she mono skis. She and I talked a lot when we first started skiing about the fact that I wanted her to clang her boots like Dad did.
Did you never do that with Dylan?
No, because Dylan was just a daredevil that would go down super fast and didn't care about technique or any of that
Or
stuff,
form.
and
Yeah,
always
I
looked
get
like
it.
he was about to take out like 50 people.
Yard sale.
But Kaylee, on the other hand, really
By the
wanted
way,
to ski
Dylan, we
like
love
Dad.
you, and you've got lots of other attributes and talents. But can we give Kaylee this one because I
Yes.
think far and away she is the best skier.
100%. We do have to give her some serious applause. But when we were younger and the kids were young and we were learning how to ski, Dad, who learned how to ski in Vermont on those like 205 Rossi, 4S's or whatever.
That's
told
right,
them-
because you went larger, right? It was
yeah,
really
that was
the cool thing.
pre-parabolic skis
Yeah,
with the
that's
Lang
right.
TII yellow boots that took 15 to 20 minutes to get off of your feet.
Nothing changed there.
Yeah.
Boots still take forever.
Yeah, they're not as bad though. They're definitely not as bad, but they are.
Best part of the day, taking off those boots.
Oh, 100%. But anyway, like the whole idea was like, I want you to ski like that. I want you to clang the boots. I want you to look like you're on a mono ski, really quick turns, moguls, all that kind of stuff. So she was into it. And then we took a lesson once, and this was with parabolic skis, obviously. And the ski instructor, I'll never forget, said, you guys need to separate your skis more.
Were you like, Kaylee, don't listen?
We were like, sorry, we've worked a long time.
Okay,
to
wait.
put
By
these
we,
skis
you
right.
mean you? Because
Well, I did.
I didn't work that hard on skiing. I mean, I'm a decent skier, but I'm definitely not your level, and I'm absolutely not even.
Well,
close
let me tell
to
you, my
daughter.
level is not what it used to be.
Is that
I
because you're
definitely-
almost 55? Are you feeling it? Oh, where's the beep there? No, that's a record scratch.
Yeah, well, that's what I used to listen to back in the day before compact discs. Oh, do people even have compact
No,
discs
I don't
anymore?
even think. I don't know. I don't think. Our
I probably
kids
have
even
some
know.
in my back, my spine. There's probably some compact discs.
That was a dad joke.
Good dad joke, though. Very
debatable.
good. Anyway, this ski instructor was really perturbed by the fact that we clanged our boots. And he was like, look, these are parabolic skis. You need to separate them by like 4 or 5 inches. When you're skiing, it gives you more stability and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, I'm sorry. That's just not the way we're going to do it. And he got very irritated. And now it's our joke. Whenever we see a ski instructor, we look at him and we're like, hey, Kaylee, did he give you the stink eye for clanging your boots? And she's like, yes.
Oh.
And then she go, "Bzzz," like
Oh,
that.
you bazooed. I love
Yes.
that you guys had that time together. I mean, I'm slightly jealous that I wasn't there for a multitude of reasons, one of which is because I was home working. But I'm also jealous because
I'm sorry. I also was working too.
I
My
know, you
speech
were
was at 3:30 in the morning.
I know you were talking to Germany. We already heard. But I'm sad because it sounds like a really, special memory that you and Kaylee were able to create over those 4 days. And I just think that's awesome. And I love so much that you and your daughter have this relationship.
I'm going to say
Oh,
yes.
that's like a fairy.
Yes. It's my relationship with my daughter.
Yeah, but not like creepy relationship.
No, it's just like a really cool, I love it. She's a cool kid.
She's a really cool kid.
Actually, she's like an adult.
She is
But
an adult.
anyway.
I always say when I grow up, I want to be her.
Oh, When I grow up, I want to be the person my dog thinks I am.
I know. That is a quote that got a lot of traction at the end of the year.
Yep, it did. Okay. Oh, speaking of which, our dog is walking away. So, I should probably just, in terms of the speech that I gave, right? Like, I'm not supposed to get into the specifics of it.
Because is that like a trade secret? Is this top
No, it was a military. It was I was in the unclassified portion of the conference, but there was definitely classified portions.
Well, I was going to ask, have you ever been part of the classified portion?
I was in a classified at the Pentagon. There was a closed, like a crazy room with generals where you go in and all your cell phones and everything are put into these boxes outside. And then it's some sort of, it's a classification that's not like, I'm not like CIA or anything. It's just like one level higher than, unclassified, I guess.
Well, it's still pretty cool. Did you get to keep the badge?
No, you're not allowed to keep anything.
Man.
Yeah, but I got a picture behind the podium, which was
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but
okay, let's go back.
So just quick, because I do like to touch on the U.S.-China relationship every once in a while. I know it's boring to some or whatever, but it's actually so important to all of us. So the one thing that was being focused on was the soft power influence of China around the world and inside their borders. Keep in mind, 1.4 billion people are there, and they're trying to keep their people just happy enough that they don't revolt. So part of that is through tangibles, right? Creating jobs, creating an economy that provides opportunity, and also bolstering their military so there's more security around the world and inside their borders, all that kind of stuff.
Should our president be taking notes?
Well,
creating jobs,
I thought we were keeping
tangibles, creating, making sure we're just happy enough, I suppose, not to revolt. But I just don't even think people are just happy enough.
Well, here's the kicker, is that there's not enough resources on Earth for China to keep 1.4 billion people just happy enough that they don't revolt in general. Like, they have scarcity issues, whether it's water, food, energy, minerals, you name it, arable land, all that kind of stuff. So part of what they got to do is message, which is an intangible, this idea that their system there works better than the democratic system from the West. So they're constantly amplifying the things that they do really well inside their borders and throttling the things that democracies around the world are doing well. And then they amplify the stuff that's really bad that's happening inside democracies. Like, for instance...
So they are rubbing our nose in it over at China. We are the laughing stock.
Over in China, but then they also do it around the world through TikTok.
Oh, good. I'm so happy that we are well represented and supported.
Well, there's a big battle to win the hearts and minds of people in many nations around the world away from democracy and towards communism and towards the China system. So it's very interesting. Now, the one thing I think I mentioned on another podcast was just this idea of, what do you think of China when you think of China? And if you ask a kid, most of them think of blue skies and
I disagree. I don't even think they think of China. I just don't even think it's on their
radar.
radar.
It's not like I would think of Soviet Union either growing up. But if somebody said, what do you think of the Soviet Union? I would go, KGB spies, cold, damp, Gorky Park type of weather, people that are depressed, Cold War. Like, that's what you think of because of all the TV and film that depicted it that way. Anyway, let's move on to what are the serious, not that wasn't a serious topic.
I'm gonna make a rule right now, because there's a lot of serious stuff going on right now, starting with Minnesota and ICE, starting with Venezuela, starting with, the list could go on. So I just think we avoid those topics right now, and I want to talk about something. This is going to make you so happy. I have become a football fan. I have become a college football fan, and I have become a Miami Hurricanes fan. I think we need to talk about the Canes.
Shout out about the Miami Hurricanes.
Aren't you so proud of me?
Yeah. So I guess I should say why I'm a fan and why, strangely, my son has become a fan, because usually he's an anti-fan of anything we're a fan of.
Absolutely. He's always been. I mean, here's a little story that when he was little, you took him to a Lakers game, obviously being from Los Angeles, 99.9% of, people that live here are Lakers fans. And he literally walked in. I don't even know how old he was. Was he like 5 maybe? And he's like, boo, Lakers. And you got some looks. You're like, no, Dylan, we're supposed to say, yay, Lakers.
Was that the time that I brought him and only had one seat at like a big game, and I was trying to make him look like a baby, and the ticket guy was like, dude, how old is your baby? And I go,
he's
I don't know, like kid. A year. And he's like, dude, that kid's like 4. I was like, no, he's going to sit on my lap.
Oh my gosh, that may have been. So, okay, let's go back. So you are a Miami Hurricanes fan because of fill in the blank.
Because I was born and raised in Palm Beach County, Florida. And back then, actually, there was no professional baseball team. We had spring training. We had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which were... It was like Ricky Bell and Doug Williams, and they were terrible. And then we had the Miami Dolphins, which were big during the Marino days, but just not that great after that. And the Hurricanes were just the team. That was the team. We didn't have hockey either. And I remember actually we had soccer, like Fort Lauderdale Strikers, but it was about Miami Hurricanes. And that was also back when the Doug Flutie Hail Mary pass was made that allowed BC to win that game in the last second of the game. But aside from that, the Hurricanes were just great, and they strutted their stuff. They were cocky. They were crazy. They were going to Overtown, which was,
What's that?
It was a very bad section of Miami where the Orange Bowl was. And I remember you would go to the games and you park your cars on lawns where people had these big like barbecue cookouts, and they charged $5 to park on their lawn, and you'd eat some ribs, and then you walk through the neighborhood and get to the Orange Bowl, and it was just crazy. It was so good. So anyway, I think fondly of the Canes, and I went to the Rose Bowl where they won the national championship in 2000, and then I went with a bunch of my friends to the Fiesta Bowl where they won that also, except Ohio State claims there was a pass interference, but whatever.
I mean, it was in 2003. Let's give the year, which is the last time that they've been in the championship. Yeah, well, it was for the 2022 season. So it was the 2020. No, sorry.
I think it was for the 01 for 02.
01 for 02. So I was right. The last time the Miami Hurricanes played for a national title was 2003.
Yes, you're right. It was 2003 because actually I remember the Rose Bowl that they won was a few months after 9/11, and I remember getting into the Rose Bowl took forever because of all the security.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So,
but don't say that Miami won that game. Ohio did during Ohio State during double overtime. And wasn't there some infamous like late flag penalty play that happened?
The crazy thing was, okay, so I did some research. All my Canes buddies, we all met up in Las Vegas, and we were like, this was back when you could go to Vegas for 3 days and not die. Although we came close to it, but we were young enough to survive.
Weren't we together then? 2003. We were together. That was the year before we got married.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we were together.
We were engaged.
That was good. We were together for a while.
Okay.
So anyway, we drive to the Fiesta Bowl, and actually at the time I was working with one of the color commentators, and he hooked us up with all kinds of great stuff. Shout out to Ed Cunningham. And we went to this game, and somehow we got tickets for, I don't know, $200 a piece. I'm looking at these national championship game tickets. What do they cost?
Okay, so I did the math because I'm a little bit of a data nerd, and they're going to play at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, which holds approximately...
Because the Orange Bowl doesn't exist anymore, which is sad.
Okay, I did not know that. Remember, I'm a new college football fan. The stadium holds about 65,000 people. And I mean, last night after Miami won, we did a quick search to see what tickets would be.
Yeah, because I wanted to take Dylan down there.
And it's still a possibility, and I think we should sort of hash out the pros and cons of that after we have this discussion. But then today we looked at tickets, and they had gone up. So you're talking about, I think the cheapest seats that you could find were $2,800. So if you do that multiplication, okay, on ticket sales alone, this game is going to bring in $182 million in revenue.
Yeah, I mean, if
wow.
you're, yeah, I don't know what the actual face values are. They're probably, I don't know, they're probably super high, and who knows what we're seeing there. But I mean, I did see just regular seat tickets, like just seats for like $18,000 a piece. So
are they in good sections, or are you sitting in shit
those
seats?
Those are in good sections, but I think it's just been all corporatized to the point where you can't. You know, it's hard to just go to a game. I mean, look, the Super Bowl's the same way, but I do remember fondly, you know, getting a bunch of guys together and not totally break. I mean, let's face it, if you're just a person, it's not a company ticket that you're buying or whatever, or a corporate ticket. If you're spending $6,000 to sit in nosebleed seats with your son, I don't really care how much money you're making. Like, it's still a ridiculous amount of money.
And then wait, you got to take into account food and concessions.
Oh, yeah.
Right, like a beer there, I'm sure is what, $20?
Yeah, I'm sure parking's like $200 or whatever it is.
And you can't walk out without the T-shirt or the hat or the pennant or something like that. So your merch sales, I mean, you're probably going to make what, an additional, I don't know, $6 million in sales that day.
Is that what they're saying?
Well, I mean, they're giving high and low estimates. They're saying on concessions, the low end is about 2.3. The high end is about 3.6. And on merch, it could be low end 1.3.
Well, wait a minute. Think about it. You got
not everybody buys.
You got 65,000 people there.
But not everybody's going to eat or drink. And maybe you just get a hot dog.
Yeah, but the average person is probably going to spend at least $40.
Yeah, they're saying that the average person will probably spend $35 to $55.
Okay, so that's a lot. And then on merch, probably the average person, or is that merch and concessions, or is that just concessions?
The concessions is just your food and your alcohol. The merch is like your hats, your jerseys, your T-shirts, your programs.
So, and then on top of it, for probably every 3 people, there's a parking spot. So I bet you parking is at least $100. So you're looking at say 20,000 times 100. Right, so you're at $2 million in parking.
Just that. So you've got your $182 million and your ticket sales. You've got, I mean, we could use $5 million just for funsies, but I think that's on the low end, right? So now you're at 189. Add in your parking. I mean, this is going to be a huge, huge money-making event.
A huge one, and then
sure
people are like, I can't believe Miami's getting $20 million to go to the game.
Well,
like that's to go to the game.
You know what? But we just did the math, and there's about $190 million for grabs just for ticket sales, merch, and concessions and parking.
That's what I'm saying.
Let Miami get the $20 million.
Well, if you're actually in, so say both teams are getting $20 million. I don't know if they got $20 million for. Yeah, I think that it's $20 million to go to the national championship. So say that each team gets $20 million, that's $40 million. Now, in the concert, and I know this, having worked in the music business at one point, like to like a concert, if you have an artist come and play at a stadium, typically they'll get a guarantee, but if they go... overall, the amount of money that's generated from the stadium for that show, the artist is going to get roughly 80 to 90% of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you look at let's just look at the ticket sales for this thing. Say it's 160 million in ticket sales.
Oh no, I said more. I thought it was like 182.
All right. Well, let's just say it's 160. They're getting, between the two teams, they're each getting 20 each. That's $40 million. They're getting 25% of the gate. That's like, I mean, I know everybody's like, I can't believe they're getting 20 million. That's ridiculously low. They should be getting, essentially 75 million a piece.
Well, I don't know about that, but
well, I'm just saying, if you go by music artists, if you go by that, and by the way, there's a lot of artists like, say, Kid Rock, who not only gets a guarantee to show up, and gets 90% of the gate, but he demands a major percentage of all merchandise and all parking and all beer sales.
Okay, well, that's absolutely genius. But I'm going to ask you a question. Does Kid Rock still demand that type of leverage?
He's still a big, big star.
Is he?
Yeah, he does extremely well. People love his music. By the way, every time we're out on Coeur d'Alene or something, we're always jamming Kid Rock.
I'm not making a commentary on whether I like his music. I'm just saying I didn't know that he could still bring in that kind of money.
Well, you know what? What's even crazier is the people that were recording his albums, the studios, the record labels. They sort of had an issue with him.
Why?
Well, because he would owe them albums, but then he would go out and sample songs and cut amazing tunes.
Oh, like that Sweet Home Alabama song?
Sweet Home Alabama. And he would deliver them to the record label, and they'd be like, oh, well, okay, you did this with Sweet Home Alabama. And he's like, yeah. We have to pay for the publishing rights for that song in order to have this performance rights for you in this song. So you know how that's going to cost us a lot of money. He's like, I don't care. It's a great tune. I actually, what's even more interesting, I think that song, All Summer Long, I think it has a combo of Sweet Home Alabama and Warren Zevon's Werewolves of London, which is like two songs. So that song might have cost the record label more money than it actually made.
I want to look this up.
It's it's sort of crazy, but the songs are amazing. He did a great job with like taking these samples.
Yeah,
and
he
really
did.
taking them next level. So while you're looking that up, I'll just really quickly. So Ohio State, Miami and then we think it was 2003 for the 2002 season. We saw them win. They won the game, and fireworks went off. Our whole Miami section went off the charts celebrating. We were actually considering the run onto the field, although there was all kinds of there was crazy security, but like everybody was like, we're gonna go, and the fireworks going crazy and everybody's going nuts. And then you hear like whistles like off in the distance, like, what is that? And you look down on the field and everybody's starting to rush, and the refs are pulling everybody back, and they show that there's a flag on the field and it was a pass interference. It was such BS. It was so BS-y. I can't even get into how BS-y it was. But anyway, Ohio State scored, they won, and Miami got robbed. So there you go. And now here we are. What are we? 23 years later. And
which is
time.
Why you're considering going and taking your son.
Yes, it is why, but I don't know if we are. I think it might be or it could even be
Well, I think it depends on what happens with the Indiana and Oregon game.
Oh my God! So here's it's probably not just
See,
my prediction.
Stats?
Yes, but if Indiana wins this game, I was looking at the stadium today in Atlanta.
All red.
It's all red. So
yeah, I think maybe one green hat.
I have a feeling the whole state of Indiana will be coming to Florida to watch that game. So if tickets are now just to get into the place are $2,800, I would imagine they're going to be $28,000 by the end of it.
How are the kids going to afford it? Or is there some sort of student section and mom and dad pony up like $1,500 for their kid to go to this once in a lifetime?
I think what happens is the only kids in there are kids of really rich people. Or they get whatever that lottery system is for, say, however many. You could probably look it up. There's probably a set amount of student tickets that are allotted for the two teams, and those tickets are probably sold at, say, $40 or something like that. It's probably a really, really good deal that's made just for students, but it's probably very difficult to win that lottery and get a slot.
Oh, I'm sure everybody and their mother puts their name in.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure. It would be like if we did this podcast live, imagine how many
everybody
people
would want to come.
Oh, my God. We would fill half of our dining room table with people wanting to listen from 33 different countries. We'd have like 1/8 of a person from each country. So anyway, what else are we
I'm
talking
going to tell
about
you
here?
that within larger team allotments, around 20,000 per school, only a small number are actually reserved at reduced prices or specifically for students. Not crazy?
How many?
So maybe there's 20,000, and of the 20,000, my assistant is saying about 500 of those are actually reserved at like student pricing.
Wow. Well, I mean, for an Oregon kid, it's a pretty long way to come. Indiana is not that bad. Miami is a 5-minute ride. So, anyway, let me ask you this question. So, Dylan left on, first of all, Dylan's Canadian holiday at home was like 2 days.
That's not true. It was a little. It
wasn't very long.
It was 3 weeks, whereas Kaylee had
it
a
wasn't
full,
3 weeks.
I think it was
2 weeks because he left on the 4th. He came here on the 19th, came and left on the 4th, I think, right?
Maybe.
So Saturday, my daughter and I take off. Kaylee and I go to Montana to go skiing. Sunday, you have to drop off Dylan. What like,
happened?
because this is called Plate and Ponder Empty Nesting with Jen and
Yeah.
Chris Fenton. Tell me about that.
Okay, well, there was a little bit of a false alarm, false start. Now that it is off season in Canada, flights are not as frequent as they used to be, especially the nonstops. So there was one flight that was going to Montreal on Sunday, and it left, I think, at like 7:30 a.m., maybe 8 o'clock a.m. But it's international, so you're supposed to get there early. And my son had a ton of bags that he was checking to bring back to college. So we woke up, and I think at 5:15, we were in the car with all the luggage heading to LAX. And he was going to get there. I had checked the flight. Everything was on time. We're looking good. He checked in. We purchased the bag, did the bag fee ahead of time. And I would say probably about 10 minutes into the drive, I said, "Dylan, what gate?" And that's when he looked on his phone and he's like, yeah, kind of. He looked at his phone. He's like, "Mom, my flight was delayed." I'm like, "Okay, really? Really?" He's like, "Delayed, I think 4 or 5 hours." So at that point, I do a quick U-turn. We head back.
You like my
That noise.
boing? Wait. There you go.
That made me laugh. We turn around. He gets back into bed. So now I think it's 6 a.m., right? And I decide, well, I'm already up. So I went for a lovely run. I worked out. I let him sleep for several hours. I then woke him up. And we, in fact, drove to the airport. It took 45 minutes to get through kind of the tunnel and all the traffic because he was, Terminal 6. And I got really sad when he left. In fact, Flynn came with, and Flynn started doing his like the puppy dog cry, whine, because he knew that Dylan was leaving. He saw the bags. I think he has some separation anxiety and thought maybe he was going to be left behind. I don't know. And I just remember looking at Dylan, and I had like a tear down my face. And I'm like, "I love you so much, baby. Thank you so much for a great weekend or a great week." And as Dylan walked into the terminal, Flynn and I drove off, and I cried the entire way home. I cried the entire way
That's so
home.
devastating.
And I think because maybe it's the Instagram feeds that, I subscribe to. Maybe it is Alexa listening to me. I don't know. But I'm seeing all of these reels of parents that are just like, kudos to the parents who just dropped off their kid after a long break of hearing them in the house, feeling their energy, blah, blah, blah. So I think it's a thing.
It is, yeah. I just know that like when it's hard because like if I'm away and something like this happens.
I wasn't mad at you.
No, I know
you felt so
I know you're not
badly.
mad, but it's like I think you called me and I could tell.
I was like,
the
so
day was
lonely.
terrible.
No,
the
it
day
wasn't
was
terrible.
tough. The day was tough
It was
because
tough.
you really felt the empty nest and there was nobody there to share it with. And then Flynn's looking at you. Flynn was crying too, and you called and you were spilling it all on me, and then you said, well, how was your day? And I'm thinking to myself,
I just went
well,
skiing.
if there's a way to say it was an 11 out of 10, I would, except I have to sort of abate that enthusiasm and say, like, oh, the snow wasn't all that good. And
I think Kaylee said the same thing.
we were like nervous
Don't
about
tell Mom, it was a great day.
It was a great day. But yeah, I felt for you. And now we have vowed that, like, when we go full empty nest like that all at once, we gotta
make sure
buffer
we're
it
both
with
here.
each other.
Yeah, like
we gotta
go,
hug each other.
Well, okay, or go to a nice dinner and have a nice bottle of wine.
Yes, and include Flynn in it too, so that he's not crying too much.
I know.
You know what? What's funny is you liked my Gerald McBoing, right? You know what's so interesting is I was looking through some sound effects to put into my mixer, and I came across that one, and it reminded me, this is going to be a humble brag, but I'll tell many stories from this trip. But I took Johnny Depp over to China for 3 days to help promote a movie called Transcendence, which was way ahead of its time. And he was on stage, and we had him doing a bunch of different stuff. And there was an MC, and he was like, Johnny Depp. And Johnny's like, okay, what do I do now? And you get like that. And he's like, oh, okay. And then because it was made for television, there was all these sound effects they kept playing, which are very Asian in sort of this weird, like, almost like bizarre, surreal thing.
I'm picturing
and he'd be
it.
And Johnny Depp he came off stage for a second to have a cigarette in the middle of the thing. He just walked off, even though he was supposed to be doing something. And I see him there, and he goes, I could swear I was hearing children's toys. And I was like, yeah, I heard the same children's toys too. I don't know exactly what that is, but it's Chinese television. He's like, okay, I'll go back out. And he went back out.
He didn't think he was like an orangutan or
no, that's another story I will tell.
Save that
I guess
for
I gotta
another one.
look that up. Can I tell that story? And
I don't know.
get
Maybe
sued?
yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe we save it.
Anyway, he was dating Amber Heard at that time.
Were
too,
they
which
married
was pretty
maybe at the
interesting. Well, I don't know if she was pooing on the bed. At that
Stop!
point.
Oh my gosh!
I think it was before that.
You know what? I don't think she pooed on the bed. If you watch the Netflix documentary, I
Oh,
think
is that not true?
She placed it on his side. She didn't actually.
Are you kidding me?
She didn't actually.
Sorry, we're talking. Is that what it was in the doc? I gotta watch this documentary. What, she like nicely placed it next to him?
Well, it was asked. Johnny Depp's legal team asked about it because they were trying to show that she was batshit crazy. And this incident came up, and no, she did not poop the bed, but she did place it on his side, on his, like, the sheets or the comforter. I can't remember. You should watch it. It's a multi-episode arc that follows the trial.
How did she get the poop? She like
I
put it on a platter or something?
I can't
Like,
remember.
She just like squatted over it or something?
The bodyguard actually goes into it.
Oh my God, that
I
reminds
feel like
me.
maybe he had to collect it in the toilet or like something like that.
All right, I'm going to have to tell the George Clooney poo thing some episodes. So just remind me of that.
I don't even know if I know that story.
Cat litter poo story.
Oh my gosh,
good.
I don't even know if I know that.
Okay, so what do we need to cover? So we do have, while we're doing this, the Indiana Oregon game is on. I can't see the score because I promised myself not to pay attention while I'm talking to my beautiful wife and an amazing audience in 33 nations. So I'm not sure what the score is, but what else do we need to talk about before we check that out?
Our dog is hungry and he keeps walking around, and those are the little pitter-patter footsteps, and he keeps motioning to me, and because while he doesn't speak, he speaks to me.
Yeah, why is he licking everything right now?
I guess he's hungry.
Sort of weird. So anyway, I guess on that note, we are going to sign off on this amazing 2026 kickoff episode of Plate and Ponder Empty Nesting with Jen and Chris Fenton. Until next time.
Bye.
Thank you. Oh, and please follow, download, listen, enjoy, and review. Until next time. Bye-bye.